Good morning, good afternoon, and of course, good evening. An evening when probably the original owners of The Walking Dead, that dot matrix, John Borg, Lyman Sheets masterpiece of a very, very difficult pinball machine, are breathing a heavy sigh of relief, I would imagine. Before I start what is an initial reaction to Stern Pinball's review of The Walking Dead Remastered, I've just got to hold my hands up here. For those of you that maybe have not watched the channel before and have not seen my car crash video of The Walking Dead, when I got, I think it's fair to say, angry. The first time I've ever really got angry with the pinball machine was on The Walking Dead. I've owned The Walking Dead twice, so I've given it a go. I've tried. I think I've owned it twice and borrowed it once. I feel like I've given it a good go. I famously said, well, not so famously, a few hundred people would have noticed me saying I didn't think that The Walking Dead had that one more game factor. I thought it had that one game less factor. That one game less factor. I said there's probably anything you could do with your time which would be better than playing The Walking Dead. Read a book, go for a walk, take the dog out, take your wife out, watch Netflix, anything aside from The Walking Dead. I don't like The Walking Dead as a game. It's too hard for me. It's brutal. Some people say, yeah, but when you get it right, when you get to horde mode, when you get to horde, it's so satisfying. Never mind the 19 games where the ball's just drained. When you get to horde mode, nothing feels quite like it. Having got to horde mode, I can name quite a number of things that feel better in life than getting to horde mode on The Walking Dead, but we won't discuss those now. Suffice to say, it's not a. I didn't find it an enjoyable game. Far too tough. But I do appreciate the code on it, and I would certainly admit that there's a couple of the shots on there which certainly give you a lot of satisfaction when you hit them. But as a game, it's a miss. What I should say is I quite enjoy playing it when when it's somebody else's game. I think when I've not had to pay for it, and I mean in any way, shape, or form, when I haven't had to pay not only to own it, but I haven't even had to put £2 in the coin slot. Speaking of which, little coin slot there. When I haven't had to put any money in a coin slot, it's fine. If I'm playing it at somebody else's expense, I'm not offended by the game. I only bring you this information to demonstrate that I am not unbiased. This is not going to be an unbiased review of The Walking Dead because I didn't like the game to start with. But I loved the TV show. Well, I loved the TV show up until the point they brought Negan in. Is that a spoiler? If you haven't watched The Walking Dead yet, you're very, very late. I don't know. I think I thought for the first couple of Walking Deads were good. Then they had a crap one, and then there were 3 or 4, which 2 or 3 that I quite enjoyed. Anyway, it was good. I liked it. I liked the premise of it. Quite like post-apocalyptic zombie stuff. Like 28 weeks later, that was good. Enjoyed that. Anyway, you get the idea. One thing I never had a problem with was the artwork on it. When people said it was too grim, it was too gory. Well, I think at the point where you're going to purchase a zombie-based pinball machine, I think you should embrace that. I'm fine. Put blood and guts and make it red and do all that stuff. Not a problem at all. I actually thought the one of them was it might have been the Ellie, I don't know, but it was very nice. It was sort of done in the cabinet artwork was done as a crate. I actually liked the back glass on the Pro. I thought that was pretty good. I didn't mind. It was zombies and people with ripped heads and limbs hanging off. That was a zombie impression. No problem. No problem. I embrace it. Brilliant. I've no problem with the artwork, with the look. That's great. If I'm playing a zombie pinball game, right? No problem. So actually, what it would appear to be in the new version, the one thing they appear to have think they fixed is probably the one thing that I liked about the game. So let me just say, from this point of view, from this point onwards in this video, this is possibly not going to be the most flattering video. But I am going to try and make it as balanced as I can without betraying my own feelings of it, which is, I mean, I can. I thought I could. I was 90% certain I should give this one a miss, and I'd like to always try and be as honest as I can with you when I make this statement. If I really like a game on this channel, you'll know I really like a game because I'll go and get it. I'll sacrifice something from my collection to go and get a pinball machine that I really, really want. June would be a great example. Big Lebowski had to go for me to bring June in. June was so good. So good. I thought, I've got to have it. I've got to have June. So if I really like a game, I will get it in. Same with Jaws. The same with Pulp Fiction. I've got to have them. So that's how you know if I really, really like one. So I don't want to sit here and pretend I'm going to buy games that I'm not going to buy, which is why when I did my Dungeons and Dragons review, I said, yeah, I can appreciate the game. Happy to have it for a little while, but I'll never buy one. I'll never get one. I'm certainly feel that way with most pinball machines. So I don't ever feel that I was on the cusp of getting The Walking Dead, but had this as a remastered been really good, I might have been tempted to get it for a while and then move it on as my transitional pinball machine, if you like. I watched one of Carrie's videos. I think he might have been talking about when he sold Kong, and he spoke about getting a transitional pinball machine, one that he turns over and he keeps going. He keeps the majority. He's got some beautiful games behind him, hasn't he? And he's going to keep those, and then he'll swap one game in and out. So maybe I might have been convinced. I needn't worry. I won't be getting this Walking Dead pinball machine. So I feel I've been saved. I've got the JOMO, the joy of missing out. So that's absolutely fine. I don't mind missing out at all. I mean, remastered's a funny term, isn't it? Really, because if you remastered, you think improves, and I'm sure in some aspects they may well have improved on this game, Stern. But I've got a it might be a Blu-ray. I've got a Blu-ray. I've got a 4K DVD thing of Alien. When did Alien come out? 1979. Ridley Scott's Alien, and it's remastered. The Alien remastered, a director's cut. It's better. The picture's better. Picture's in 4K. I think they've meticulously got and improved every frame. The sound's better. The whole thing is better. As a word, remastered. Yeah, well done. You've done it. So it's a big claim. It's a big name, isn't it? When you say I've remastered. So I've remastered the Sistine Chapel. That's going to be quite difficult. Now, whilst I don't like The Walking Dead, I would absolutely understand that it's a lot of people's favourite game. And I know. I think if I was a better player, I'd probably really like it as well. So if you're going to remaster something that's a favourite for people, I think if there was room in my collection for a Walking Dead, I wouldn't have been remotely tempted, having seen the trailer, which we're going to have a little look at today. There's George. Nothing against George Gomez. Love George Gomez. It's... And by the way, I should probably say, because I'm probably going to say some quite negative things about this game, I think the actual drawing... Let me start by playing this video now. The actual drawing or the actual skill of the artist on the back glass and on the cabinet artwork, I think it's really good. I actually think it's a nice change stylistically and artistically from a lot of the Zombie Yeti stuff. I've got no problem with Zombie Yeti artwork, but there's lots of it. And this is different. I like the way they've drawn the characters. I think it's good. Apparently, I've watched this teaser trailer, and I think during that, George Gomez mentioned that the person that had done the artwork is well known for depicting horror scenes and drawing sort of horror. I don't know, it's horror comics or something like that. So I think they've done a good job. What instantly strikes me about this, for me, is this is far too colourful. This is far too bright. I don't want a Walking Dead to look like this. I want it to be mostly red. in many respects, I'd have gone if I was doing this and I'd have made a decision, I'd have gone with you like the Elvira Blood Red Edition. I think I'd have done something like that with this game, which I know some of it is very understated like that anyway. I sort of liked the understated lighting on the inserts of the original game. I'm sort of doubting myself now, but I don't remember there being lots and lots of different colors on the inserts. I was fine with that. I thought it actually suited the theme. This I I don't know why they've necessarily done this with the color. I've always thought anybody, as I mentioned at the start of the video, anybody buying this game is probably into the zombie genre anyway. I don't think you're going to attract any new people to the game by making the colors a little bit more child friendly or whatever, because you've got the Well Walker there with his and Marlon Brando there on the slingshot, looking oh, they look like zombies. It's not a pretty game. It's ugly, and I'm no problem with that. It's meant to be ugly, but I think embrace the ugliness. I like that. I've always liked that. The fish tank. I'm glad the fish tank's on it. I guess they're going to do that. There's only a premium and an LE here, I'm guessing. So yeah, the colours are a bit garish. The playfield's too much colour on the playfield for me. Too much colour on the inserts. Too much colour on the cabinets. Too much colour. You get what I'm saying? Obviously, the insider connected. Of course, they're going to do insider connected. So I think that's the first thing for me. Look at that. That's a nice drawing. That's some charm there. Very nice. They've got these expression lighting, the bullets there on the armor. That's cool. Probably would have gone for Masham's sword, actually. The samurai sword she has. But of course, we've done samurai swords already, haven't we? In Pinball, we've got a lovely couple of samurai swords on the side of my my Deadpool. Right, let's get rid of that. Thank you very much, George. Is that it? I think that might be the end of it there. You've probably seen enough footage there. So the sound is going to be upgraded on it because it's a Spike 3, and the Spike 3 has better mid-range. It's got some tweeters on it, as I understand it. I'm not somebody that knows an awful lot about sound, but I mean, you're going to have to do something with the sound if you're going to remaster it. Despite the skill of the artwork, and I appreciate, I think that's the same skilled artist could have probably done those same drawings. They didn't need to be as fleshed out, for want of a better phrase, fleshed out with color. But I don't look at the game and think, well, that's remastered in terms of an artistic point of view. I think it's gone. I've just blasted up the hue and the vibrance and the saturation and their color settings on there, really. The sound, well, I'd have to hear it in person. What you do have are call outs from two of the cast. I don't want to say too much about them because I haven't heard enough of it. But I didn't feel upon hearing them that I particularly liked it. The TV show doesn't appear to be on the screen, and that's, for me, would possibly be the biggest reason to remodel or remaster this game. If you're going to remaster this game, don't just remaster the DMD. Because I thought the DMD was pretty cool. One of the better DMDs, I would say. In fact, I've got to say, probably, even though I the second time I had The Walking Dead, I only had it for a short period of time. I think even though I had the color DMD, and it was the LED color DMD, which I prefer to the LCD, because it's got the true dots on it. And I love that. I love that screen on pretty much everything. I've actually got one in a box in there, which I'm saving for the right game. It's not Star Trek Next Generation. I'm selling that next week, probably. But when I had The Walking Dead, I thought, actually, I prefer the red display. I preferred the original red display. I just like it. So I think if you're going to remaster it, you've got to go the whole hog. So just don't even try and imitate that original dot matrix display. And I've seen the animations, and I think they look cool. Whoever's done those animations done a really good job. I just don't think it was necessary. I think it's if you're gonna have a big LED screen, a big TV screen, which they've got on there, then use it. Get the movie clips in it. There's no point just having animations on there, just having an updated, remastered dot matrix animation. It's a bit like having a Ferrari and just driving it to the shop to get some milk. You don't want to do that. You want to drive that at 200 miles an hour, you get arrested. But you know what I'm saying. I think it's an underuse of the platform, and it's certainly, I've not played Star Wars, another John Borg game, the newer Star Wars. Nor am I likely. Oh no, I am. I've got to give a big shout out to Neil McRae, who is going to love this game, and he's going to be all over this game because he loves it. He loves The Walking Dead. He's invited me over to do a video on Star Wars, so we are going to get a Star Wars game on this channel. So thank you, Neil. But I think Star Wars has got the movie clips on it. Well, that's great. What a great use of the Spike 3. Brilliant. We're going to get the better sound. We're going to get the movie clips. Fantastic. No problem. Wonderful. No TV clips on here. I want to see that. I want to see. I want to see. Who doesn't want to see Negan on a screen? Of course you do. The governor. It's Neil. Isn't that Neil Morrissey? I think that's the guy's name. Yeah, I think it's Neil Morrissey was the actor that played. Andrew Lincoln, of course, played the main character. There's some good actors. I think it's a good show. Really, really good show. I'd quite like to have seen it, but it doesn't matter because I don't. Would that have been enough for me to buy the game? I'm not so sure. I'm still not so sure I would have bought it. So you've basically got a guy sat on a video, unimpressed with a game that I wasn't going to get anyway. And I just want to make this point. I don't feel so entitled that I feel that I've got to like or love every single game. And I certainly don't have to love every single thing about every single game. June might be the best overall package I've ever seen in pinball yet. I mean, I love it to such an extent. I thought I've got to have one. But when I saw the alternate back glass, I thought it looked like a bumhole. So I thought, I don't want that. And I actually asked my girlfriend. I said, "What does?" Now she actually no, I did. I took her to watch June 2 in the cinema, and she fell asleep. She fell asleep. Each to their own, right? Each to their own. And and anyway, I showed her this alternate back glass, a picture of it, and obviously it's a sandworm. And I thought, oh, that just looks like an arsehole. And I said to her, what does that look like? And she said, it looks like a cat's arse. She said something like that. It looks like a cat's bumhole. And I love that game. So listen, you don't have to I love everything about every game. So I'm not going to get the bumhole back glass. So you don't like everything, right? That's fine. I don't expect to like every game. I really don't. But when I looked at this game, The Walking Dead, I was very intrigued. And so it wasn't like a massive relief. Phew. I don't have to get that one. And I must admit, I have spent the last 2 weeks really looking at the possibility of Beetlejuice, which ironically is the other way around. I hadn't watched Beetlejuice until very recently. I didn't watch. It escaped me. I didn't watch Beetlejuice when I probably should have done. And I watched it. I thought, well, that's not a very good film, actually. I didn't think it's very good at all. But I think there's a bit of FOMO there. So I've been exploring, possibly. But I must, you've got to see it, right? That's, at 10 days, that's going, there's going to be previews. We might get to have a look at that. But yeah, ultimately, what can you say? I'll be interested to. This is the thing, I guess, with the remastered, isn't it? I was just about to say I'd be interested to play one. Well, I have. Just haven't played one with the bright colours and the animations and the armor that lights up. But a sound. I'm sure. In fact, I think one of the games I did have had a big extra subwoofer in there. So yeah, I don't know. There's an extra solenoid in the Well Walker, so he bounces around a bit more, and the slingshots, as you say, got. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's not doing any. It's not. It's not doing anything for me. I'm far more interested to see what Stern will do next. I think if there's one thing that has, and I was worried about this anyway, I don't know if they will remaster Lord of the Rings, and if they do, I will get it irrespective. In the same way that if this is your favorite game, The Walking Dead, and you love it, and you play Walking Dead all the time, you probably are gonna get this remastered one. If you just think, "Yeah, I quite like Walking Dead," you're probably gonna be happy with the one you got. But with Lord of the Rings, if they did this with Lord of the Rings, I think the artwork does need to be redone on that, on the playfield, certainly. I've got a nice back glass anyway for that. But then you get to the movie clips. That would be a missed opportunity, I would think that. And I would certainly think if all they did with Lord of the Rings and got the Lord of the Rings license was to take the DMD, and the DMD is excellent on that, by the way, really good. That one is worth having the color version on. And they just upgraded and had animations of Lord of the Rings. I've got to say, I do think that would be an opportunity missed. And I do also think that it would be an opportunity missed if they didn't have all of that extra stuff in there. And if I think it's an opportunity missed on Lord of the Rings, then it probably stands to reason that it's also an opportunity missed not to have the TV show clips put in their remastered version of The Walking Dead.